Welcome back everybody to another video in this series of me chasing down that sub 4 marathon time. To be perfectly honest with you, this week has been near enough impossible from a filming point of view because every run I've done has been in the dark, pitch black, and I didn't want to put you through the agony of seeing a head torch bouncing around. I thought the agony of seeing my face quite clearly would be preferable. So that's what's going to happen over the next couple of minutes or so. I'm going to talk you through the runs this week that I've been on and just share with you kind of where my fitness is at, how I'm feeling about everything so far, and any sort of thoughts and feelings about the next step. So in just a short moment, I'm going to talk you through the week, and I'll put an overlay up on the screen as well of the Strava information whilst talking you through it at the same time. So just to give you a little flavour of kind of what I was thinking and feeling about the run at the time and afterwards, and how that impacted my week as a whole. So let's get into it. So the week started off with a just under 6.5 kilometre run, a little short local loop. I took in the cathedral, fantastic local site. It's not always lit up actually, but on this particular occasion it was. And yeah, holding a nice pace, not a huge amount of elevation or anything crazy like that, but a nice way to start the week, and that just sort of started to set the tone for things to come. The following evening I typically would be with the Guildford Trail Runners, but family circumstances meant that I couldn't get out and do that. So what I decided to do instead was to do a similar distance. So I got a 10k in, again elevation nowhere near what it would have been out in the hills and trails, but that run in particular was pretty awful, primarily because my head torch died and I ran the majority of the run in the dark. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. It genuinely was in the dark, and I was using the torch on my phone to try and see. It was utterly horrendous. I made the choice to go through a residential area thinking that the streetlights would be lit up. But given that everybody is trying to save electricity at the moment, they hadn't got them powered on. So I was running underneath them, but they weren't on, and it made for a really unpleasant run. And the pace there, an average pace of 5:20 per kilometre, happy with that. Of course, we're thinking about, I'm thinking about the marathon effort and what's required. So I'm looking to be around 5:40 per kilometre as an average for the duration of the marathon. So these runs so far are all within obviously the speed required and the pace required in order to do the job of the day. And then the third run of the week was another sort of simple 6k, nothing too dramatic there. Again, holding pretty good pace back up to the cathedral. It was really picturesque. I really quite enjoyed sort of the peace, tranquility of it all. It was just nice to see it again. Quite a sort of warm, mild evening in the end. I wore my jacket and I quickly took it off. So with 3 runs in to the week, I was feeling good about the weekend. I'd totaled just over 20k, and I knew that I wanted to try, if I could, to get to over that 42 kilometre distance for the week, the marathon distance for the week. So going into the long run on Saturday morning, I'd made a decision already the night before that if I was up early, I would go early. If not, I'd go later in the day. And came downstairs, organised my clothes for the following morning, and sure enough, I was up about 5ish, and I just thought, let's get things moving. It's not going to impact on my family life if I head out for a run now, which inevitably it does do if I go for a longer session later on the day. So, foot out the door. It was about 8 degrees, but I kept my rain jacket on as a kind of a windproof jacket, and I never really took it off. It was comfortable. It was comfortably warm. As I started, I felt a little bit sort of lethargic. It's like 5 in the morning. You don't feel particularly fresh. So straight out the door, no food or anything, just a nice glass of water before I went out there, and I took some hydration with me, a bit of Tailwind and just 2 Univet gels just as a sort of backup and just to keep me going. And so I planned a route out of my head, and I made sure that the out portion would be exactly halfway. Had different thoughts about whether I wanted to go out and back and then add a little bit more when I got back, but I just thought no. The best thing you can do is to do your route, get your halfway point set, and then when you come back home, the moment you then kind of really want to give in because you're feeling like the home is in sight, you're actually at the end of your run. Nothing worse than doing loops past your house and trying to sort of motivate your brain to get in gear every time you go past. So I was really happy with that, just to kind of flicking through the stats here. Again, reminding myself of how well I did. So it's 25k in 2 hours 18 minutes. So if you think about that as a run, I need to really be around about 3 hours or under 3 hours for 32 kilometres. So I've got another 7 kilometres there. And the question, of course, is 7 kilometres in 40 minutes. Is that possible? Well, if I was running at 6 minutes per kilometre, that'd be 42 minutes. And I think I could be quicker than that. So I think that is possible. So today, potentially, I would have been on for a 3 hour run. I don't necessarily feel that I had 32 kilometres in my legs. I didn't feel particularly tired because the pace was really good. I felt very comfortable at that pace, but I just didn't feel like I was in a good place to maintain the pace. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I mean, overall, pretty happy with that. A nice run. I saw, I think, maybe 1 or 2 vehicles only. Just me running by myself, me and the wildlife in the dark. It was great. It was a really, really nice experience. So that's my run. They are my runs this week. Terrible grammar there. They are my runs this week. So as a total, what have we got here? You can see a nice little graph on the screen. I love the trajectory, the way it's going at the moment. And over the last couple of weeks, I've gone 23k, 32k, 36k, 39k, and this week 47k. I'm filming this video on a Saturday. Don't anticipate going out on a Sunday, but I'm just pleased that I've been quite controlled with the building the mileage every week. Now, next week isn't confirmed, but I might try something a little bit different. So, yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully next week's vlog will feature a little bit more running. That's I know what you're here for. So thanks again for your support throughout this. I feel like we're getting close. We, meaning I feel like I'm getting close. That run this morning was a real positive boost. Realistically, and I thought about this on run this morning, if I aim for a 20 miler, I need to have in the back of my mind the idea that I might go the whole way. Because if I'm feeling good at 20 miles, I will just plough on and see what happens. There's not a lot of point in me parking it at 20 miles and saying that was a positive run. I could have, I'm on track for a sub 4. Well, if I feel good on the day, I will go for the marathon distance. I will try my best, because at the end of the day, I can always pull out a 37 kilometres or 38 and say, it just completely tailed off and I missed it. That's totally fine by me. But what I wouldn't do is stop if I felt good. If I wasn't feeling good, I felt like I was really pushing my luck and I just about scraped 32 kilometres, call it a day and start another time. So when that 20 miler is being booked in, which is coming up, I will make sure I take enough hydration, nutrition as a backup just in case. It will, of course, mean that because I'm doing out and back, I'll do 16k out, 16k back. And when I get back, I've then got to shoot off for a 10k route. But I've got a good 10k route in mind, the same one I did the other night. So I don't have any worries about finding that distance when I get back home. I'm just trying to prepare myself now in my head mentally, but I'm feeling good, feeling really strong. It's coming together. It is coming together, and I'm thankful for the process and for just taking it in my stride. And hopefully it's reflective of the way that I am moving forward my running, that actually is possible to build back up when you feel like things have gone a bit sideways. And I certainly felt like I was in a bit of a pit and it wasn't really going the way I wanted to. You just got to really plan your attack, take it easy, and trust the process and be patient. It's all about patience. So that's a video this week. Sorry that you had to endure this, but the 2023 calendars are coming out soon. So if you want more of this and things from the neck down, then please consider the purchase of a 2023 calendar. There are signed editions available with personalised messages should you require. Much love, and I'll catch up with you soon.